Hey, what's up, guys? How you doing? It's me, Mr. 4K Upscaler. Here we are on Sony X900e, and I'm playing currently Forza Horizon 3 on Xbox One X, and it looks fantastic on this television. But there's one really important thing that I think I have overlooked, and this is not something that you probably don't know. If you have this TV, you already know this. But shout out to Dirty Sprite. He kind of mentioned this to me, and I wasn't really aware of this, how much this was really important. Because Dirty Sprite has X930e. It's more superior TV, obviously, than the 900. But in terms of technology and the panel, it's kind of similar. It's just that his has a much more powerful processor and much better rendering, and obviously it has Dolby Vision implemented into it with a new update. But he did mention to me this feature right here. Hold on. He's a friend of mine, known him for almost a year now. And the one thing I never realized, it never occurred to me while, checking this television, is the fact that the light sensor, ambient light, this feature needs to be turned off. What this feature does, it dims down your peak brightness. And remember, the whole idea of HDR is to get to squeeze that luminous light, to squeeze that HDR peak brightness, okay? And you have to turn this feature off. I would really suggest you turning this off, because honestly, you're going to be using HDR on daily basis every day, from HDR gaming, HDR movies. So you want to turn this off. So turn this feature off. It's called a light sensor, which is something that I would highly recommend you turn that off. And another important thing that I'm pretty sure you guys should know is that you have to have your brightness and contrast to maximum. Turn that light sensor off and keep your brightness and contrast to maximum. I will leave the black levels at the 50, black adjustment levels high, advanced contrast enhancer high, because you want to squeeze that luminous light peak brightness, auto local dimming high, and extended dynamic range high. In terms of color, keep the color at 55. And color temperature, I normally suggest to go with the expert, with the expert one, but you can keep it at warm. You see how with the expert one you get a little bit more of that yellow, because they're trying to reduce that UV light. And I still recommend the expert one because it reduces that blue UV light. But the warm also reduces a little bit of that blue UV light. Not much, but a little bit. Just enough, so it's not totally blue. And I would say warm. Go and squeeze the warm color instead of the expert one. As you can see the difference here, there's the expert one, and then there's the warm, and there's the expert one. Expert one now, it seems like we're like in a Mars, With the warm, it seems like more like we're like in a more natural environment. And I don't know if my camera here can depict that, but believe me, there's just more and more peak brightness now peaking out of this TV. All right, that color, not the color, the light sensor truly, when you turn that off, then you squeeze all of the peak brightness that this TV has. I didn't realize how much I was losing of that peak brightness when I had the light sensor on. And I was wondering, like, I was comparing Samsung KS8000 and I was comparing Sony X900e, and I realized, well, why is this should be brighter. I was like, you know what, man, this TV should be brighter. What's going on? And then, long and behold, Dirty Sprite told me hey man, this is your light sensor. What light sensor basically is, it's a sensor that adjusts the environment based on where you are. If you're in a lit up room, then it's gonna allow more peak brightness. If you're in a darker room, it's gonna dim down that peak brightness. But it regulates it constantly, and you don't want that. You want a steady, fully unlocked peak brightness here, so that the HDR can flourish here, and it does. And this TV now is truly showing its colors, truly showing like how beautiful it looks, and it really looks great. And this game looks just simply stunning. So I would definitely recommend that you turn off that light sensor. This is something that I would give tip to a kudos to Dirty Sprite. He didn't mention this to me. I don't know why wasn't I aware of it in the beginning, but it just the light sensor, it's just gonna, what it does basically, like I said, it depicts the environment, and it regulates the peak brightness, and you don't want that on HDR. You want HDR to be at the constant peak brightness. So totally turn off that light sensor off. You don't want that crap. Okay. And what you want that brightness, luminous light to be all the way to the maximum here, and the contrast to the maximum as well. So you click right here, and obviously I'm using a game mode. You want to make sure that the luminous light of peak brightness nits, it's set to the maximum. You want this to the maximum, and you want the contrast to the maximum as well. And long and behold, you will see just much better improvement. I also suggest using a warm color. Warm color will give you a little bit more natural look to it. Expert one is going to give you that little bit yellowish, like Mars feel to it. But it's also healthy for you because it reduces that blue UV light. Warm, it still reduces the blue UV light, but it's not to the point where it's like we're on a Mars, you know. It's not totally yellow. So I would recommend to use a warm color. Okay. Now, a lot of you have been asking me when you're going to do a video between your TCL and your X900e to measure the full array local dimming, and to see which one has a better local dimming in terms of deep dark levels and viewing angles. That video is coming on Friday. So yeah, that video will be on Friday. I'm gonna go ahead and spend 20 minutes going back and forth between the two TVs. The reason why that video is gonna be so good is because both of these TVs are the same size. They're both 55-inch, and that's gonna be even better because now we have both TVs 55-inch, and they all have full array local dimming. One has a little bit higher number than the other, so it's going to be interesting to see how they stack up one against another. But this video for now is just a little tip. It's something that I'm pretty sure most of you knew about. Man, I do sound like Canadian, don't I? But by the way, I'm not Canadian, but I do sound like Canadian a little bit. So anyway, this is just a short little video, 10 minutes. It is recorded in 1440p. I think if you use this little tip and you turn off that light sensor, you are definitely going to be benefiting and squeezing more of that peak brightness as you should. All right, and I also recommend that you use a warm color and keep all of these filters high. Keep the black level of 50. And also remember, just by you turning off the light sensor doesn't mean you're going to get that full peak brightness unless you get your luminous brightness to the maximum and contrast to the maximum. So you still have to, it's 3 steps really. As soon as you turn off the light sensor off, then you go to the luminous brightness, bring it to the maximum, and then contrast to the maximum. And all of these other filters like advanced contrast enhancer, local dimming high, extended dynamic range, and black adjustment level high, is going to give you a really nice contrast ratio between the deep dark levels or white bright levels. So that's what you have to do. And remember, light sensor, you got to turn that off. You turn the sucker off, you don't want this, okay? That's what's stopping you from getting that best possible peak brightness on this TV. And you're definitely going to be getting a really good peak brightness now. And I definitely noticed it here. Even when I exit from this game, when I go to my user interface, I definitely notice much better. Let me save this picture. I definitely notice much better quality, and it definitely looks much better here. Looks more natural. Also, make sure you use the warm color instead of expert one color. For the movies, I say you can use the expert color, but warm, it's going to give you that nice natural feel to it, and that's what you want. You want that nice natural feel to it, and you're going to get the natural feel to it of color, temperature with the warm one. As you're seeing right here, you can see the clouds, you know, with different variations of color. If you go to the expert one, you will not see that. Maybe I can show that again, give you that little example demo right here. Let's go to the advanced settings. Let's go to the color. Right now it's on the warm, and now we're gonna be in Mars if I go to the expert one. See, we're in the Mars right now. Everything's a little bit yellowish, and here it's back to the normal natural feel to it. Keep watching what I'm doing here and you will notice that difference. You're definitely gonna notice that. Same thing here. So anyway, there you have it, guys. This video is really just a little tip on how you can squeeze that peak brightness on this TV. Again, big shout out to Dirty Sprite. If he didn't tell me this, honestly, I wouldn't have been aware of this. You know what I mean? I wouldn't have noticed that at all if he hasn't like brought it to my attention. But he did, and he told me about it. And it's kind of hard to spot it. When you go to picture adjustments, you know, you really don't pay too much attention to it. But there it is, it's right there. Now, the reason you don't see it highlighted because I turned that off. It's turned off. So it's not on. And even here, when I go to my user menu right here, you will see. And even here at the my user interface menu, it's still it looks much brighter. The colors pop much better now. So now we're getting that really good peak brightness that this TV has to offer. So you want to turn that light sensor off. You want to use the warm color, and you want to make sure that all of your enhancements on the filters are set to high, including the black level adjustments. Leave the black level adjustments at 50. And make sure that your luminous light brightness set to maximum with contrast set to maximum, so you can squeeze that peak brightness. All right, and you're gonna have a really nice variations between your deep dark levels and your white bright levels, and it's gonna look great. There you have it, guys. Hopefully you like this video. It turns out to be a 15-minute video, but necessary 15 minutes, I would say, just to kind of. I know I can do it shorter, but I just want to go into detail. I want to really kind of explain to you why you need to do this, why you need to do that, why you got to use the warm color. So I kind of give you the explanation as to why. Okay, there you have it, guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget that video. It's on Friday. Showdown between X900e and TCL. It's on Friday. Sometime in the evening on Friday. Thank you.